Do you feel the team handled the press?
Good overall. I thought really good overall. I mean, in the first half, I think we only had 4 turnovers. And, maybe I can think of, at least I know one was versus the press, that I can think of off the top of my head. We were able to handle the press, get to a little lead. The other thing you got to handle with them is just the changing defenses on the other end. I mean, they 2-3, 1-3-1 zone. They play you man, obviously. So I thought our guys did a good job, handle that for the most part because, you can't really get in a rhythm calling sets. So you got to rely on concepts and fundamentals. And I thought our guys did a good job of that overall. Obviously, in the second half, we kind of lost our way, and they do that to teams. They kind of wear them down a little bit, and maybe I should have subbed or cycled through, but we didn't get off to a great start. And then I kind of wanted to see if we could build back up a lead before we cycled back through our rotation, and maybe some guys got a little bit tired, but still, that's no excuse for not being tough. I mean, I could think of 2 vivid rebounds where I think Delhi had a rebound and Tobe had a rebound, and they just threw a blind outlet that normally maybe you would feel good about, but against these guys you don't. And they stole both of them and hit a 3. I mean, so, those were disappointing a little bit. And then I just felt, during that stretch in the second half, I think a few guys, Caleb and maybe JB, maybe tried forcing a ball into a small window, and I don't think you need to do that when you're kind of, having a lead. You need to find a ways to be a little more solid.
This is the Caleb you hope to see.
I mean, obviously he played good, guys. Caleb's a good player, and you know what, and I'm going to hang with him. I mean, that's my job. We're going to hang with him, and I'm not a fair weather guy, and I love my players, and listen, I hold them accountable. We have a lot of conversations about things, and and we have the real talks. But this is college basketball, and I don't care if there's NIL involved or what. My job is to kind of help a young man, through tough times and through struggle. That's my job, and I'm going to do that. And you know what? I'll wear it when it doesn't go good. And when it does go good, I won't take any credit for it. I mean, that's just how I'm going to operate. So I'm proud of how Caleb played, but it's one game. We got a game on Saturday. Do it again.
He got to the line a lot more too. Was that partly because the way they were playing, or
it could be? We've noticed his free throw rate's a little bit down, from last year, and I don't think there's anything like tactically, that we've talked about, that we don't want you getting to the free throw line. We want him getting to the free throw line, and he did a good job of it today. I think he's just got to kind of he's got to find a good mix of hunting, catch and shoot shots, and drives. And playing in transition, and I thought he obviously he looked really good today, and I'm happy for him. But guys, it's one game. We got a game on Saturday. Let's see what happens.
So the decision to go with Delhi.
I'm trying things. You know what I mean? I don't profess to have all the answers. You guys know I'm not a guy that's really, shakes up starting lineups often. I will once in a while if I think it can help our team. But I just felt like at the start of these games, maybe a little more shooting could help us. And listen, Delhi was shooting coming into the game was 52% from 3. And against UCLA, I didn't get him enough minutes. So, I wanted to see what it looks like with him starting. And, the funny thing is, guys, believe it or not, I don't have the magic picks he does because, he didn't start well, but we did. So, we'll take some positives from that. But, he got to play in the game and he got experience. He's still growing in the program. And, we put him in there at the end. And, I think he was 1 for 7 from 3 now that I'm looking, and then he hit 2 for 2. So, Delhi's a great shooter, and so for him and Caleb to have good 3-point attempts is important for our team, and we want those other guys shooting some threes as well, not just them. So, it's a total team effort.
Just one other thing about that, Caleb hitting that first 3 or on the break, first possession. Does that make a difference to a guy like him?
I mean, it could. It could. I don't know. There's a lot of people that have, you're a numbers guy, Bruce. I can't believe you haven't studied. There's a lot of people that have actually studied, that kind of stuff for guys. Like, certain guys, they hit the first shot, and what most studies say, there's no correlation between making your first shot and playing good. So, I don't put too much stock in it, but I'll tell you what, when it goes in, I feel a little bit better.
Brian came out confident. Have you been talking to him about just being more firm?
He's growing in the program, guys. And, today's the first day we kind of played him some minutes at the 4, and maybe I could have did that earlier. But you know, when Big Mo, was looming and coming back and going to be, kind of like, you know, at the center or the nucleus of our team, you have to kind of plan for that. And so, if he's in there, it kind of maybe knocks Henry down to some more, minutes at the 4. And, so all these things kind of happen. And then, but the biggest thing is, the 4 and the 3 and R, in the way we play, it's a little bit different movement patterns. And sometimes for a freshman, it can be a lot. And Carter's had a steep learning curve, but he's climbing that, and so I was happy to see him. This is the first game we've played him some at the 4. And I thought he really impacted the game and played well.
You mentioned that last year with Morauskas, and I didn't know, but Morauskas was without 4 more, or has Carter basically been playing 4 in practice?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because Bruce, I wasn't, giving you a line last year, a coaching line. The 4 and 3 in our system for a first-year player, it can be a little confusing. You know who had figured it out? A kid named Pella Larson. He figured it out with ease, so it was easy to kind of do different things lineup-wise with him. And you know what? Carter, with a little more experience, I think will be able to do that as well. So,
because it seems like he's got all this talent, and where do you put him, right? Especially right now.
I mean, he's finding his way, and everyone runs their own race, and I'm really confident. Carter's race is going to end up in a good place. He's just like our team, we're going through it. You got to kind of hang in there. It's been a month. A month is not going to define Arizona basketball, or it shouldn't even define our season. Now, it impacts it, 100%. It impacts it, but it doesn't define it. So let's fight for the result we want, and that's what we're doing, and I think Carter's doing the same.
You guys look, we've talked about this before, you guys look so much different and so much better when the transition game is going. They tried to prevent it. He was disappointed in his transition defense. Just your thoughts on that, because you guys look so fluid.
I mean, listen, they play a high risk, high reward system, and we maybe have the size and the athletes to, against their pressure, to kind of play over the top and throw ahead and then get downhill, and so yeah, I mean, transition is great, but you also have to be good in the half court. And I thought our ball movement was better just overall today. Just had a little better feel to it. So. And you could say that it showed in the assist numbers, this or that, but just, we were connecting a few more passes, and that's really important. I mean, the way we play, passing the ball is so important, and and quite frankly, it just hasn't been good enough up to this point. So hopefully we can keep, making progress there.
TJ McConnell obviously was here tonight. We got to give him a commemorative basketball and all that. He's played 10 years in the NBA, despite the fact that he's not really a three-point shooter. He's never dunked the ball in an NBA game, but yet he has endured and carved out this career for himself as a kind of a classic point guard. Do you think there's still a place for the classic or pure point guard in basketball, the way the game is played?
Absolutely. But it doesn't need to be cookie cutter. And there's one Ja Morant, and so there's going to be other opportunities for other guys. And Coach Rounds and I were talking earlier, just a few minutes ago, and, TJ's real talent because he figured out how to get everything out of his ability. That's real talent. If you have talent and you don't know how to get it, what is that? It's kind of a mirage. So he's real talent. He's real talent. That dude's real talent. He's tough as you-know-what and gets everything out of himself and his teammates. The dude's a stud. And we need a little more TJ McConnell on our team.
Why do you think that doesn't happen more often?
Because it's hard. It's hard to give everything you got. It's hard to give everything. It's really hard. To do that and just to have, because you know what? It's painful. And failure comes with it, and the physical exertion you have to get to compete like that is not easy. So I just don't think many people have that in their DNA or the wherewithal to do it. That's why it's so difficult. I've been around some guys that have done it, but I've probably been around more players that haven't done it than players that have done it. So I think a guy like TJ McConnell, you should absolutely just tip your cap to him and say, good for you. And I need a little more TJ McConnell in my life. We need a little more TJ McConnell on our team. And that's absolutely 100% true. I remember, back in the day, we played a pretty big game here. I can't remember one year. I mean, you guys will probably remind me. 14. TJ McConnell versus another kid named Kevin Pangos. Wow. 2 complete studs getting after it. And they both went on, and, Kevin had a, cup of coffee in the NBA, but crushed it in Europe at the highest levels. And TJ's, obviously he had, a lot more. He's had a full keg in the NBA. So, like, good for him. But those 2 guys are studs. And any college basketball coach that could get a player like that would wrap their arms and take him in a second.
You get a chance to talk to the guys before, during, after?
I mean, I literally saw him on the court. You know what I mean? So I did not get to see it. So I don't know if there was any interaction because I wasn't with the guys the whole time. I mean, he didn't know. Yeah.
Happy with Emmanuel just getting the opportunity to get in there.
It's a heck of a tip in. It's just what we drew it up. Yeah. I mean, he's ready, and we're going to see how it works because I think he's ready to contribute. He probably needs another week or 2 of good practice. And then so we can kind of figure out some packages we can play with him in that are, that makes sense for him. But, hey, when you see him, your eyes are on him, right? There's always something happening. I mean, he's kind of a whirling dervish out there. So, which is exciting because there's so much potential.
See him get at that. Is he the kind of guy, maybe where, getting a chance to score right away kind of takes the butterflies away or whatever?
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if he knows what butterflies are. You know what I mean? Like that guy just comes out and he's going to play balls to the wall, and that's going to be his greatest strength is his activity and his energy. I mean, I think I know our players were excited and our staff was excited when he made that.
Before Central Michigan, I don't know if you know much about them, but just kind of in general, or.
I mean, I don't know anything. I mean, and that's no disrespect to them. I mean, the position we're in right now, like I said this morning, I was watching Samford film. I was watching them against North Dakota State. They were down 14 with 3 minutes to go, and they came back and tied the game. So they had my complete full attention. And, hey, coming off a UCLA game that, we felt like we had an opportunity to win but turned the ball over 22 times, and you're coming to play a team that turns people over 19, 20 times a game, Bruce, there's no looking ahead. So I'll start looking at Central Michigan when I get up to my office, and we'll get on the court tomorrow.
Well, assuming maybe you have a little more conventional defense to face, I don't know, but are there general things that you'd like to kind of?
I want to polish a win. That's what I want to do, and so that's going to be the focus. And in Samford, I think they're a one-of-one team. I don't think really anybody else is playing like that, and that's a credit to them because you know what? That's not a fluky system. There is some real substance to what they're doing, and it's organized. He's done a great job kind of building something really unique, and that's impressive for a young coach.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.